circle is finally here. I know everybody been waiting for it, right? And I'm not playing no games. Yeah. Circle of red back and I'm going there, leaving tracks in morning. And I don't give a crap whether you streaming, you torrent this. You can try to contest what you be needing in army. Beat them in Normandy, current rappers eat to the warning. Stone cold like a Steve Austin. He jacking, I'm putting rappers in these coffins. He's acting like he got it, but he's lost it. Keep attacking these slackers that want to feed off me. He's softy. This one for everybody. Supporters to haters just to show that I'm greater. I'm eating steak and potatoes on the way to Decatur. Maybe there's just a little made up, but you got a little ways up before you can even make up all the ground. And the distance between us, I'm lapping around, and that's the reason you seen us. And you can talk down, but that don't really mean much. Cause you want a clown, let my enemies team up. It still won't be a fair fight, cause I'm very nice. I practice at every night to get on this herd mic. You know I'm alert, right? You know that it ain't nothing to serve, right? And I be killing tracks to the earth like my birthright. I'm solid like sound money, and you fools sound funny. Now one of you clowns want me to pound your face in the dirt, so stop irking me when I'm round. No, it's going down, I'm going to town, holding the crown. I'm saying that I'm so amazing. If I'm Ruben, then you Clay Aiken, but second place gets nothing. So get up out this godforsaken booth. The truth is you sadly mistaken. Proof I'm better than layman shoot. I'm Super Saiyan blue. This rap game, what you can't pursue. I'm a blatant root canal like an aching tooth. So now, cause the rap circle is here now. Underestimated my following, gave our dollars to the pre-order column. So what the problem is, say you was dropping it, and then turn around, did the opposite. Lining your pockets, you got a lot of nerve to be opting this. I guess I bit off more than I can chew. Let's not excuse my tardiness, I like to apologize to my audience. Not like I've been partying, promise not being fraudulent. I've been in homestead like a privatizing Rothbardian. Part of a parliament, that's a problem. I plan on abolishing, cause a raucous, I'll best the friggin' product you all are in. And all that talking, I ain't buying what you offering. You about as intimidating and soft as what your daughter is. You been a faking, yet you still hating. You can't knock me cause I've been through Olympic trials of tribulations. Been on this grind and walked many miles to get this cake, and now I'm going ape like I'm a Saiyan. Quit playing with me, cause I'm a lot to deal with. I don't acknowledge you because you too retarded to understand my skill set. So when I kick this knowledge, it's gonna fly over your heel head. So polish up your mind real fast so I don't feel bad. I went from being broke to being hopeful. From standing on the poster going postal. I'm supposed to be on the poster competition's toast because I'm vocal. I bar for you like I'm Oprah. You should probably get off the sofa or the soapbox. Going at me, I hope not. You attacking with no plot cause you act like a robot. You move when you told to move. You a puppet with a master, I'm the antithesis. That's why I'm opposed to you. I'm the whack rapper, back snapper. Used to be a gat capper, now I'm spitting raps from the Adam's apple. Better back paddle before you get the best at them. That battle's not one you won't back that up. Average guys asking me how I smash these beats. If I told you, I'd have to fold you. That's classified. Don't like to brag, but I had to boast. It's a fad of mine. So please don't be sad when the opinions pad with that in mind. I think it's asinine that people whine like a buster because they life don't measure up to another sucker. What type of life might tell Tucker I don't support you? Tactics the way that you battle and they gon' cut the mustard. You seem like you a teen wife, not prepared for this mean life. Not even aware you just see a green light. I think you mean right, but you look at me like an alien in the night. If I'm the A, then you the Z type. The proto, it's me, bro. You can try to dress it up when I'm in street clothes, I still peak, so probably one of the few lies I ever told. That's because I don't peak, I just grow.
Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers understand. No threat to a Hotep, especially when the Hotep got the goddess mask off. He's working his ass off, trying to tell y'all goofy dudes what they planning. It's Hotep, Hotep. Hope you motherfuckers
What up, what up, what up? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Welcome to Cannon Speaks. I am Cannon Hotep. I'm happy you can join me this evening. Give yourselves a pat on the back because you made it through another day today. And if you got up this morning and got on your way, then you are blessed. You are blessed. If you're new, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. If you're here catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know how I'm doing. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button. The question of the day is, has Joe Nicholslick, aka Joe Biden, failed this nation? Is Joe Biden looking weak on the world stage? You can answer that in the chat, or if you're catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I see we got Jimmy Dawson in the building. What's going on, Jimmy? I appreciate you. We got Kayak Dog in the building. We got SF Peaks in the building. What's the deal? We got Natasha Kayleen. What's going on, Natasha? I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through. So, before we get started, I just want to remind everybody, let me see where we at here. I just want to remind everybody of Hotep Weekend. Hotep Weekend, August 11th through the 13th at the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. Come hang out with your boy. Come hang out with Hotep Jesus, Uncle Hotep. We got Kimberly Klasick in the building. We're going to have Project Rook. We're going to have Sonny Johnson and Crypto Wendy O in the building. Cassius Cam and Ricky Baz coming performing. We got Celebrity Chef Mark cooking up some fantastic food. We're going to be Hotep and building mind melding August 11th through the 13th. Get your tickets at hotepnation.com today. Use Cannon as your promo code to get 10% off. Again, use Cannon as your promo code to get 10% off. Anyway, so we got a good show for you today. Like I said, the question of the day is, do you think Joe Biden has failed this nation? Do you think Joe Biden is making the U.S. look weak on the world stage? Those are my questions for you tonight. We got my man Daniel Gaskell in the building. Shout out from Van Wert, Ohio. What's the deal? Van Wert, Ohio. Natasha says definitely looking like a dunce on the world stage. We're going to get into it. But first, I was on Twitter earlier tonight and I saw that Walgreens is trending. And I was like, why is Walgreens trending? So I went and looked it up. And let's get to it. We already did that one. My bad, y'all. There we go. But don't forget them tickets. All right, let's get to it. Walgreens boycott trends after birth control condom sales refuse. This should not be happening. Now, at a glance, right, I'm sitting there like, wait, what? They're not selling birth control and condoms. Like, yeah, that's kind of a step too far. All right. But the more and more I read, the more and more this started to sound a bit, how you say, fugazi to me. But let's get into it. Let's go ahead and make this bigger for everybody else. There we go. So it says, what is going on at Walgreens? It's a question people are asking, calling for a Walgreens boycott after a series of customer stories emerged on social media making claims about troubling barriers to healthcare and the way personal information is used by the pharmacy chain. Over the last few weeks, people have said they were denied birth control pills and condoms at Walgreens. Another customer says she was sent a box of baby formula after buying a pregnancy test at the store. So like I said, at a glance, I'm reading it like, huh? Wait, what? The story derived during a tense time following the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, with people in many states facing a rollback of reproductive rights. As Walgreens outlined in the tweet that has been resurfaced during the current conversation, the pharmacy chain allows pharmacists to refuse to fill prescriptions if they have a moral objection. but they are supposed to ask another pharmacist to help the customer fill the prescriptions instead. Okay. The provision for pharmacy sales covers birth control, emergency contraceptives, and anything an employee may find objectionable. Earlier this month, a 21-year-old customer named Abigail Martin shared her experience at Walgreens on TikTok. Okay. So I guess this is a tweet, somebody asking, let's see, what's your policy regarding dispensing prescribed medication? Does your pharmacist have the right to refuse service based upon their religious beliefs? Do they work for Walgreens or for themselves? Our policy allows pharmacists to step away from filling a prescription for which they have a moral objection. At the same time, they are required to refer the prescription to another pharmacist or manager on duty to meet the parent's needs in a timely manner. Okay. When she tried to fill her birth control prescription she had been taking for 6 years, she ran into an unexpected obstacle despite having multiple refills left. She got a text from Walgreens saying she had none remaining after getting nowhere on the phone. She went to the store. Martin said that Walgreens employees who was wearing 2 crosses. This is what makes me feel like this ain't a thing. Unless there's some video footage of it. Bit exaggerated, right? Like I said, unless there's a video that I haven't seen. But let's keep reading. The employee who had 2 crosses looked her up and down and told her the prescription could not be filled and that she had to contact her provider. I said, you won't refill it? You can't refill it, Martin said. The employee again said to call her provider. After Martin called the doctor's office, she was told she had 4 refills. She called the doctor's office. She was, that's another thing, right? I'll get to that in a second. She called the doctor's office. She was told she had 4 refills left and they didn't know why the pharmacy wasn't filling the prescription. The office got in touch with Walgreens. Meanwhile, Martin got a text saying her prescription was delayed, following another saying it was out of stock. Okay. All right, let's stop right there. Now, I know in certain cases, you could be taking a prescription, whether it's birth control or whatever prescription you're taking for forever, right? A certain brand, right? A certain brand of prescription drug. What sometimes happens is your insurance company no longer will just stop covering that particular brand, right? And as of late, you've been kind of seeing that a lot with these prescription drugs. Some people are used to taking a certain brand and then the insurance company doesn't cover that brand no more. So then when you go to get your prescription filled, the pharmacy's like, yo, we can't. You need to contact your provider or your insurance company or whatever. Right? If this is a real story, this could very well be what happened here. Her birth control maybe her insurance company stopped carrying it or stop covering that particular insurance birth control. Ladies in the chat, if I'm wrong on that, let me know. That's what I heard. That's how that works. But let's keep reading. I'm just saying that could be a reason. Anyway, calling the pharmacy again, Martin, who had now gone days without her pills, was told her prescription would be filled, and the employee on the phone didn't know why it wasn't filled before. She asked Martin who she had dealt with previously. I was intrigued, so I told her, and I said, could I ask why? Martin said, she goes, I know exactly who you're talking about, and we've been having this problem for the past 2 weeks. They've been having a problem with the woman not being able to get their birth control for the last 2 weeks. So first they want us to stop getting pregnant and having abortions, and they don't want to help us prevent that pregnancy. You starting to understand? What's up, my man? We got Jonesy in the building. What's going on, Jonesy? Access to healthcare should be a right, Martin said, tearing up in the video, and this should not be happening. Okay. Nate Pence also shared his Walgreens experience. Pence and his wife just stopped at Walgreens in Hayward, Wisconsin to buy condoms. So you, hey, I guess some people in their marriage use condoms. Okay. Buy condoms because they had left the birth control pills at home. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Kayak Dog says, I worked in the ICU. We are now routinely out of supplies, medication, and have to make substitutions or reuse equipment. Damn. Okay. We went to his tweet says we went to Hayward to get some groceries and stop at a Walgreens because we had left Jess birth control at home. As Jess was checking out, cashier John told her he couldn't sell her the condoms. Oh, I got them over there. We can, but I won't because of my faith. Ah, okay. Let's see what they. Let's just see what the goings on say. Jess, it's none of your business. I can get a manager here. Do you want me to? Do you want me to finish checking you out for these things, Jess? Not from you. Okay. Please describe your recent experience with Walgreens, including anything that delighted you or any suggestions. At store 11857 in Hayward, Wisconsin, I'm assuming that's where that is. Cashier John refused to sell me condoms because of his faith. He proceeded to embarrass me in front of other customers for my reproductive choices. However, the statement they gave on Twitter said that, you know, if they got a moral objection, they can refuse it, but they can get somebody else to ring them up. Okay. Again, maybe that's real. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, we just read that they submitted what happened to Walgreens in a customer comment form, writing that the cashier had refused to sell condoms, blah, 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 blah. All right, we read that. Yeah. Here we go again. On Saturday, a customer named Nicole tweeted at Walgreens with a different kind of claim, saying she had received a package in the mail containing cans of Enfamil baby formula after buying a pregnancy test at the store. This story, I don't know. This story sounds sketchy, but maybe it's the truth. I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Do these stories sound legit to you? I just want to know. Like, I have some skepticism. You know, that's just my opinion, but I want to know what you guys think. Do you think these stories are legit? Have you heard anything like this before? Right? Especially in the past few weeks since the Supreme Court decision. Let me know in the comments. So, Nicole said she believed that Walgreens has sold her data to Enfamil. Yeah, that's possible. There's a formula shortage, and yet Enfamil is sending out formula all willy-nilly based on the data you clearly sold them, she tweeted. Shame on you, Enfamil. Now, this box she has, right? All right, this box here. Let's see. Let's look at her full conversation. Okay. Formula shortage, blah, blah. She's going on. She has no fucking ovaries or whatever the fuck she said. Okay. So this box that she has looks like the box that you get when you leave the hospital. They kind of give you something similar to this when you have a baby. All right. They give you this box. Could Walgreens have sold her information to Enfamil? Maybe. Because she just found a fucking box that was in her house or something and took a picture and said this is what they did. Maybe. You know. But I don't know. These stories could be legit. You know. You know, but the bottom line is hey, you know, If you don't like the policy of Walgreens, you don't got to shop there. Don't shop there. And if you're going to boycott Walgreens, are you going to boycott Walmart? Because I'm pretty sure they're the same company, if I'm not mistaken. Walgreens and Walmart, I think, are the same company, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? Just saying. Just saying. You know. Yeah, Handy Bob. Handy Bob saying it too. If you don't like Walgreens policy, don't shop at Walgreens. Plenty of places to buy what you need. Yeah. I haven't heard any issues like that here in Baltimore, up here. And, you know, maybe these places where this happened, they're pro-life states. You know, we don't know. I don't know. I just thought this was an interesting story. Some of these stories to me sound a little sketchy. That's just my opinion on that. But we'll never know. We'll never know. We'll never know. I'm sorry I didn't even show you guys the thing. So this is the box right here. Right? That's the box. That's the box you got. That's what it looked like. It's kind of beat up. You know, maybe this is true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to waste more time on this story. But, yeah. Prepare to see more of those things happening. They want to boycott Walgreens. That's cool. Boycott Walgreens. But are you going to boycott Walmart? You know. People need to understand we can't depend on anything except death and taxes. That is true. That is true. And if they really up in arms over Walgreens, just wait till they give away their rights to the state to decide what birth control they can use or can't use. Woo, you're gonna have a bunch of pissed off lit women. I'm just saying. What up, Papanaya? We got Papanaya Shelley in the building. I appreciate it. Hey, look, if you're new, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share this stream. Let people know we're live. If you're catching the replay, the question of the night is, do you think Joe Nicholslick has failed this nation? Do you think he makes us look weak on the world stage? I'd love to know. Do you think he sold this country out? All right, let's see. Get rid of that. So speaking of speaking of my body, my choice, and healthcare and all that other good shit. Story from Yahoo News. I saw this trending, not trending, but I saw it on Twitter as well. But Uncle Hotep had retweeted. I thought this was pretty fucking funny and ironic and scary at the same time. From Yahoo News. Long lines in New York for monkeypox vacation. This was Sunday, July 17th. Says, on a hot Sunday afternoon in New York, the epicenter of the U.S. is, that's what we're going to call this. The U.S.'s Donkey Kong outbreak. A long line of men aged 20 to 40 wait for a vacation to protect themselves and their loved ones against the Yami. Look like that AZT line back in the 80s, don't it? Let me stop. I'm sorry. Jeez. Okay. With his rows of tables and chairs and stacks of medical equipment, the Vacation Center, a high school in Bushwick, Brooklyn, is reminiscent of a vacation spot for the remix Yamin, for which New York was also the epicenter. Everyone who spoke with AFP while waiting in line said they felt lucky to have gotten an appointment, as New York lacks doses. How they lacking doses on? Anyway, on Friday, 9,200 time slots became available on the city's dedicated website at 6 p.m. They were all gone in 7 minutes. Damn. 3 days earlier, site traffic was so high that the page crashed. It was frustrating, largely because, especially the Cove base, you think that we have more of a structured process for vacation rollout. Aiden Baglivo, 23, told AFP, there just wasn't really anything. Shouldn't be an issue. The city, more than 8 million people saw monkeypox, Donkey Kong infections climb last week, with 461 cases recorded Friday since the U.S. Outbreak began in May. The number is up to 223 cases now. Baglivo, a data analyst, noticed the people who are the most connected on social media have the highest chances of getting a vacation appointment. Robert, who declined to give his last name, told AFP he sat at his computer refreshing the website like a crazy person until he got a slot. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. These people are crazy. This shouldn't be an issue because there's already a vacation, and it should be more efficient to prevent it from becoming more of an issue, said the 28-year-old. Neither his partner nor his best friend have been able to get the vacation. Every additional day where there's not more people being vacation is a bummer. Here we go right here. Look at this. Anyone who catches the Donkey Kong, which spreads through close physical contact, but the I don't know what the fuck that is. The Janio's vacation is currently reserved for men who have sex with men who make up the vast majority of cases. Many LGBTQ people, of which there is a large population in New York, worry their community will be further stigmatized because of this. Yeah, I mean. So, okay. Look at this. Look at it. So, it looks to me that this line of gentlemen who I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say prefer the company of other gentlemen are the main people worried about the Donkey Kong affecting them. Thing about it is, how long before they start using the Donkey Kong to pull another 2020? If you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know. Now, the vacation for this is the vacation that they use for the smallpox. That's what the vacation for this is. Because they're so similar. All right. So they're waiting to get these doses of smallpox vacation, which makes me wonder, is this vacation that they're giving out for this stepped on? Look like New York gonna be ground zero, people. All I'm gonna say is this: watch out for the hook. Watch out for the hook. So anyway, so this is from CBS News. Donkey Kong, what we know about the outbreak. right? July 18th, 2022. Let's see what they say. I think this is our old clip, but we'll go to it.
There are now more than 1,800 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the United States. States and cities where infections are spiking are now demanding more vaccines from the Biden administration. Joining us to discuss this is former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb, who's also a board member at Pfizer. Good to have you here.
Good to see you.
So what I think they're going to do is try to use this to make Nickel Slick look like a savior. They're going to try to make Nickel Slick look like a savior on this. That's just my opinion.
Give us a sense of the scale of this, because the CDC numbers are out. They say there are only 8 women within that, no children. You're saying this is a pandemic. That's not a word the administration's using yet. What level of emergency are we at?
Yeah, look, and I think they're going to be reluctant to use the word pandemic because it implies that they've failed to contain this. And I think at this point, we failed to contain this. We're now at the cusp of this becoming an endemic virus, where this now becomes something that's persistent that we need to continue to deal with. I think the window for getting control of this and containing it probably has closed. And if it hasn't closed, it's certainly starting to close. 11,000 cases across the world right now, 1,800 cases, as you said, in the U.S. We're probably detecting just a fraction of the actual cases because we had for a long time a very narrow case definition on who got tested. And by and large, we're looking in the community of men who have sex with men and at STD clinics. So we're looking there, we're finding cases there, but it's a fact that there's cases outside that community right now. We're not picking them up because we're not looking there. This has spread more broadly in the community. I wouldn't be surprised if there's thousands of cases right now.
It's a little chilling to hear you say containment has failed. I've heard you say that before with COVID.
Well, look, this isn't going to explode like COVID. This is a slower moving virus, which is why we could have gotten control of this if we had been more aggressive up front. We made a lot of the same mistakes that we made with COVID with this, having a very narrow case definition, not having enough testing early enough, not deploying vaccine in an aggressive fashion to ring vaccinate. But now this is firmly embedded in the community. And while it's not going to explode because it's harder for this virus to spread, it's probably going to be persistent. You'll have this as a sort of a fact of life, maybe spreading as a sexually transmitted disease, but also breaking out of those settings.
So the CDC said monkeypox can show up to 3 weeks post-exposure. What are the basic symptoms? If you have a rash, do you call your dermatologist? Who do you call?
Well, it's a vesicular rash. It's associated with fever and achiness. You know, historically, you used to get a disseminated rash. What we're seeing right now is people aren't presenting with a widely diffuse rash, but sometimes just a small number of vesicles. So I think it's being confused with other vesicular rashes. Herpes, Coxsackie can cause a vesicular rash, certainly chickenpox. Right now, anyone who presents with a vesicular rash that can't be explained by another etiology, so a rash that causes vesicles, should be tested for monkeypox, whether they come from a high-risk community or not. That's the way we're going to snuff this out. We didn't have enough testing to do that. Now CDC has gotten in place more testing. There's probably adequate testing to broaden it to be able to accomplish that, so we should be doing that. Physicians should be sending off these tests.
So for those of you who don't know, right, the origin of Donkey Kong is, I think there's a central strain. It was a central strain and then a West African strain, right? Both of them are relatively, not gonna say harmless, but they're the mortality rate and stuff for it is super low, right? Mostly you get a rash on your body for a couple of weeks and then it goes away, right? Now I believe in Africa they were treating the Donkey Kong with the smallpox vaccine, that's the same thing that they're using for this, right? Thing is that they stopped giving out the smallpox vaccine after they felt like they eradicated smallpox, which was like in the 80s. Now with this resurgence of Donkey Kong, they're bringing back this smallpox vaccine, which is making me worried. I'm like, is this shit stepped on? You know? Has this been altered?
Problem with testing. Also, it seems that distribution or access to a vaccine is an issue. The mayor of New York, the governor of New York, asking the Biden administration to do more to get them access. Why is this a problem?
Well, we didn't have adequate stockpiles of the vaccine, the one vaccine that's approved for monkeypox. We only had 2,000 doses in a national strategic stockpile. It was there as a hedge against smallpox. We took our eye off that ball, so we didn't replenish that supply. They ordered about 300,000 doses that have been delivered. 150,000 have been distributed. Another 130,000 will go out this week.
Some of that overseas.
Some of it's, well, there's 800,000 doses that were overseas that the manufacturer Bavarian Nordic had overseas. Those are being brought into the U.S.
That's a real
right
good
now.
question, Daniel.
FDA has to do what's called lot release. They have to inspect those doses to make sure they were appropriately manufactured. They're doing that inspection at the same time that they're forward deploying those 800,000 doses. So those are going to cities right now. And as soon as FDA finishes that,
look how they reacted to the last one,
those doses
Emmanuel.
will be turned on. They'll be able to be distributed or be used on patients. So I think the vaccine situation is going to improve dramatically this week. You're going to see literally hundreds of thousands of doses become available. The White House has intervened to take more control of the response away from CDC. This can't be our response every time, that when CDC drops the ball, the White House and the political leadership need to step in. That's what's happened here. It happened in COVID. We need to fundamentally reform how we respond to these crises.
You wrote a book on that. I want to ask you about COVID. The CDC says...
All right. Let's see. So here we go. How many cases? Let's see. This is what we know. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the good shit. How many cases have there been this year in the U.S.? At least 1,972 cases were tallied by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention across 43 states on July 18th, as well as District of Columbia and Puerto Rico. New York is the state with the largest number of reported cases, making up more than a quarter of the nation's overall tally. Officials say a vast majority of cases in the current outbreak have spread among men who have sex with men so far, generally through skin-to-skin intimate contact or by sharing contaminated towels and bedding. However, the CDC says it has demographic data on less than half of reported cases, unlike its counterparts abroad in places like the United Kingdom and Europe. The agency must rely on details collected and reported voluntarily to the agency by local health departments. Regardless, the CDC now urges everyone to take steps to reduce the risk of catching and spreading the disease. How severe is the infection? No deaths have been reported in the outbreak so far. In the U.S., among the hundreds who have been infected by the pox or the Donkey Kong, 3 deaths have been tallied globally this year through July 4th. So it almost sounds like we don't really have anything to really worry about. Compared to his more lethal cousin, smallpox, officials have said that the cases often resolve after a few weeks without additional treatment. The variant linked to the current outbreak has been spreading in Nigeria since 2017, where around 3% of the people who contracted the Donkey Kong died. 3% since 2017. Okay. After an incubation period, which the CDC estimates a little longer than a week on average, between exposure and infected person and the first noticeable signs of the infection, patients generally must endure painful lesions, as well as other symptoms like fever and swollen lymph nodes, until their rashes scab over and heal. That shit sound like something else. The CDC says that the patients who are especially at risk for severe Donkey Kong disease include young children under 8 years old, people who are pregnant or have compromised immune systems, people who have a history of eczema or atopic dermatitis. The agency also says that people living with HIV who have caught the Donkey Kong during the current outbreak are not getting a more severe disease as long as they are on treatment that is suppressing HIV. What tests are available for the Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong cases to date in the U.S. have been diagnosed through CDC's lab tests, which can tell whether someone is infected with an orthopox virus, whatever the fuck that is. The family of bugs that include both the Donkey Kong and smallpox. Those tests rely on doctors vigorously swabbing suspected lesions for samples that can be sent off to their state public health labs that have launched the agency's tests, as well as a growing number of commercial laboratories. All right, so it's the way they do most shit. Okay. What vacations are available? The Biden administration has deployed 2 vacations originally stockpiled by the country to prepare for a potential smallpox emergency known as Jynneos and Acom 2000. What the fuck is that? Both rely on versions of less deadly relatives of smallpox to immunize their recipients, but unlike Acom 2000, Bavarian Nordic Jynneos vacation, which was approved by the FDA in 2019. That's interesting. That's interesting that it was approved by the FDA in 2019. Especially combat Donkey Kong as well as carries far fewer risks because it relies on a version of the yamine modified to prevent it from replicating and reduce its severity. That's interesting. That's interesting, people. Can children get the vacation? Children are not currently FDA approved to be vacation, although CDC officials disclosed earlier this year to a panel of its outside vacation advisors that at least one pediatric patient had been offered a shot, and that the agency was working on an expanded access protocol to allow for broader vacation of children if needed. Here's the big question right here. I think that's just a redundant question. How is it treated? They just said how you fucking treat it. Anyway. While people in the current outbreak are now being vacationed with vacations initially designed to combat smallpox, like Acom 2000 or whatever, officials have cautioned that Americans who were vacationed for smallpox decades ago are unlikely to be protected from the Donkey Kong infection. So that means they want them to take another vacation. Jeez. Anyway, though the U.S. stopped routine mass vacation against smallpox in 1972, the CDC still recommends that scientists who are at risk of exposure because they work in orthopox virus, including Donkey Kong, in the lab get revacation every 3 years. Try to make that shit like a tetanus shot. Oh my goodness gracious. We already know how it's treated. Is it difficult for doctors to get antivirals for the Donkey Kong? Some doctors have complained about highly labor intensive requirements tied to getting courses of tectovirament for Donkey Kong cases, which demands paperwork and data to be reported to the agency akin to enrolling in a clinical trial. That's interesting. Can it be contained? While health officials expect the number of Donkey Kong cases to continue to climb through at least August, authorities say that there's still hope to control the outbreak. So I guess right now they don't know. There's a community spread occurring, and while the public health officials are working around the clock to obtain the outbreak, it is important to say that I think we expect that these numbers will continue to increase. The CDC, Jennifer McQuiston, told a webinar hosted by the American Medical Association on July 14th. However, with more than 13,000 cases in the outbreak around the world as of July 18th, some experts are skeptical public health authorities will be able to stem the spread of the yamming. That tells me that they're going to try to use this as a new boogeyman to control the masses. Another asshole says so meeting season ends come September. You're noticing things, LMAO. But early life section on this vax ain't pretty. Might be right. Kayak says herpes has more fatalities than monkeypox. Natasha's all of a sudden another way to explain the effects of the V. Man. Bruh. But in the last one, they was talking about like severe lesions and swollen lymph nodes and fevers and all that other shit. That sounds like something else. Yeah, I mean that's yeah. Ed on it. Ed is on it. Ed is on it. So it's a rather, I mean, I'm sure it's a sucky virus to have. It's a sucky thing to have, but it seems to be like very beatable. Seems to be very beatable. But so was the remix. So was the remix. And you see what they did with that. So be prepared, guys, to see this start getting some legs and running. Now, some people are asking how did this shit get from all the way over in Europe and Africa and stuff? And I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I want to know if y'all remember this shit. You know, I'm just going to put this one to play a video. This is from News Nation. Yeah. So let's see. Let's check this out.
Now to a bizarre story involving the crash of a trailer full of monkeys headed to a lab and a woman now experiencing health problems after coming in close contact with the primates. The woman says she has been put on preventative medicine for the next 2 weeks, but there are some questions tonight into what these monkeys were being used for and what they could have been infected with.
Look down in more and it pops up some monkey.
Michelle Fallon never thought something like this would happen.
I thought, well, zoo monkeys. You know, I didn't know these were animal test monkeys.
After witnessing a crash on a Pennsylvania highway and stopping to help, she learned the truck was carrying 100 monkeys from East Africa, headed for a Missouri test lab.
I thought they were like okay, like they had their shots, they're good, they've been checked. I didn't know they could have diseases or whatever.
After checking to make sure the driver was okay, she went up to the trailer full of crates, thinking there were cats inside.
They had this like green cloth over, so I peel it back and I go to stick my finger in there to try to pet it, and it pops its head up, and I'm like, oh, it's a monkey.
3 of the monkeys escaped in the crash, and 1 was recovered. 2 others were put down. But the hours-long escape forced health officials to issue an alert, warning the community not to come into close contact with the primates because the species commonly spreads herpes virus B.
I'm like, well, I was there and I touched everything.
That alert leaving Michelle on edge and unsure of what to do. Her close contact later leading to pink eye and flu-like symptoms.
I walked through their poop, I touched their crates, I tried to pet them, so now I don't know what's going on.
As a precaution, Michelle has now received her first rabies vaccination and has been prescribed antiviral medication as doctors continue to monitor her symptoms.
The location of the CDC quarantine facility where these monkeys were headed and the type of research that they were going to be used for has not been released, but this type of monkey is often used in medical studies. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button.
Yeah, y'all remember that story? Anybody? Just saying. Just saying. Manual Preston says she's late patient 0. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Saul say he not Saul say he not surprised. Oh my gosh, yo. Y'all remember that story? Y'all remember that story? That was what? That was less than 6 months ago. That was less than 6 months ago. You know, and then in May, I think like April or May, that's when we start hearing about it. You know what I mean? SF says, can I get a dumbass? Andy Bob said, who sticks their finger in a cage with an animal they have no clue about? She might have taken herself right out of the gene pool. What's up, Sonny? Sonny says, I remember that shit. Man. So I'm just saying, guys, keep your head on the swivel. Shit about to get real dumb. Shit about to get real dumb. Anyway. So, when this happened, I think this was Saturday. He had the shooting at Greenwood Mall. Actually, I think it was Sunday. He had the shooting at the Greenwood Mall. Somebody went in there with an AR or some kind of rifle, and he attempted to shoot a bunch of people. But little did this asshole know is that there was a young man in there full of piss and vinegar who clapped his ass before he can kill more people. And now it seems like mainstream media is on the fucking mission to fucking destroy this kid's character. All right. So let's go over here to the Washington Examiner. Let's go over to the Washington Examiner. Victims, gunman and Good Samaritan who ended massacre ID'd in Indiana mall shooting. Saw says off topic. You know, let me say, I peeped that movie Junior with former Cali governor Arnold, and I would have thought the movie recently came out with all the imagery in there. Oh yeah, I remember that movie. I think I might have seen it once. Yeah, we just went over that, Sonny. We just went over that. We just went over that. All right, let's keep it going. Oh shit. All right, let's get it. Get out of here. 3 people killed in the shooting at the Greenwood Mall in Indiana, along with the suspected shooter and the gunman credited with stopping him were identified by authorities on Monday. The victims of the shooting Sunday evening at a mall in Greenwood, south of Indianapolis, were Victor Gomez, 30, Pedro Pineda, Pinda, 56, and Rose Miriam Rivera Della Pineda. I guess that Pineda, 37. Police announced the suspected gunman in the shooting, which also injured 2 other people, were identified as 20-year-old Jonathan Douglas Sapperman, who was killed by an armed bystander, Elisha Dickinson, 22, who was carrying his gun under the state's constitutional carry law, which allows citizens to carry a gun without additional permit. Let's see what this is.
This afternoon, the Greenwood community in shock and mourning after a gunman opened fire at the mall Sunday afternoon. Law enforcement is now trying to gather every piece of evidence they can to answer the questions that we're all asking at this point. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm Nick McGill.
And I'm Birchelle Edmay. We start our team coverage this afternoon with what we know right now. Russ McQuaid is standing by with the gunman's identity and the timeline he set for killing innocent people. And Eric Graves has more on the victims and their stories.
We're going to begin with Russ, though, who explains what authorities have already learned from an overnight search of the suspect's home. Russ?
And a good afternoon. Officials say they don't know why Jonathan Sapperman, the alleged gunman, opened fire inside the Greenwood Park Mall late Sunday afternoon. However, it seems the more questions that we and investigators ask, the more there is to learn about this tragedy. This is the photograph of the 20-year-old Greenwood man who police say caused such havoc when he opened up on a food court full of shoppers inside of Greenwood Park Mall last night, leaving 3 victims, including a husband and wife, dead and 2 other people wounded. When investigators raided his nearby apartment early this morning, they found he left the oven turned on with a laptop computer and a butane bottle inside. That could have been an explosive situation. Police say he brought 2 rifles to the mall, left one in a backpack in a restroom where he spent an hour preparing, and then they add he was armed with a rifle and a pistol when he emerged and began firing more than 24 shots into the food court. Officials say Sapperman quit his warehouse job in May, has been told by the family that he was being evicted from his apartment and didn't have a car, so he presumably walked to the mall from his nearby apartment.
Right now we have no motive. His family members that we spoke to, they were just as surprised as everyone else was. They said there were no indicators that he was violent or unstable.
And Chief Eisen described Elisha Dickens, and he's the 22-year-old man from Seymour who fired back. He said Dickens' actions were nothing less than heroic, as Dickens, with his legally owned handgun, opened fire from more than 30 feet away and took down the suspect. Live outside of Greenwood Park Mall, Russ McQuaid, Fox 59 News.
Yeah, you're right, Sonny. You're right. As the economy gets worse, we may see more of this. He can't shop in the mall, neither can you. So we got Elijah Dickens. All right. Greenwood Police Department Chief Jim Eisen praised Dickens' actions in the press conference Monday. His actions were nothing short of heroic. He engaged the gunman from quite a day at 30 meters or 30 feet or whatever it was. That's quite a distance. You know, that's pretty decent shot. With a handgun, he was very proficient in that, tactically sound, and as he moved to close in on the suspect, he was also monitoring for people to exit behind him. Eisen said he has to our knowledge, he has no police training and no military background. Now that's good on that kid. You feel me? He had the situational awareness. He was tactically sound. He put rounds on target, hit nobody else but the suspect, and he saved I don't know how many people's lives, right? He saved I don't know how many people's lives. You know, and I'm sure all of those people are grateful for that to that kid. All right? But check this shit out. From WJTV Jackson. Armed Good Samaritans stopped Indiana mall shooting, broke mall rules. Greenwood, Indiana. While people were crediting an Indiana man with shooting and killing a suspected killing a suspect in the Greenwood Park Mall shooting Sunday, mall policy prohibited him from carrying at all. Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen confirmed Sunday that the shooter was shot and killed by a man visiting the mall located in a suburb just south of Indianapolis. The Good Samaritan, as police called him, was armed with a handgun. The real hero of the day was the citizen that was lawfully carrying a firearm in the food court and was able to stop the shooter almost as soon as he began, Eisen said. Police say 22-year-old Bartholomew County, the 22-year-old from Bartholomew County had a legal gun permit. However, according to mall policy, the man should not have been carrying his handgun in the mall in the first place. Why are you focusing on that? Why are you focusing on that? The Simon Property Group, which owns the mall, states in its code of conduct that no weapons are allowed at their shopping centers. The policy was last updated in April of 2020. This is what the fuck they're worried about. This is what they're worried about. Yeah, he saved everybody's life, but he wasn't supposed to have his gun there. He was breaking the law. Guess what, stupid? So what's the deal with the fucking rifle? Oh my God, yo, you can't. I can't. Again, here we go from fucking Newsweek. Greenwood cops describe Good Samaritan's tactical takedown of mall shooter. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, hold on a second. Police in Greenwood, Indiana. Let's listen to the whole thing. Let's listen to the thing real quick. Hold on. Let this shit load. I don't know why this shit acting up.
Behind him, he has, to our knowledge, he has no police training and no military background.
I think Karen.
Police in Greenwood, Indiana described the moment a Good Samaritan tactically took down individual suspects, shooting several people on Sunday. It's funny because the article didn't say, before the article said that they were going, he broke the law, right? Now all of a sudden it's different. Maybe they learned a lesson and they backed off of it. Here we go, right here. Look, here we go. They put it down here. Jesus. Despite the recent praise from police, the Good Samaritan actually broke gun rules listed by the mall's owner, Simon Property Group. No weapons. The company's code of conduct states the Good Samaritan was not identified by name by the police. Like, this shit is crazy. This is what they're focused on. Not the fact that this guy saved so many lives, right? Not the fact that this kid put down a mass shooter, a good guy with a gun versus a bad guy with a gun. The good guy with a gun, not only a good guy with the gun, a good guy with just a handgun, right? Now, I know some people would disagree with me. In some cases, like, of course I want my AR with me, right? Of course I would love to have my AR with me, you know, doing work if I had to. But most of the time I only got a handgun, right? Most of the time I only got a handgun. Now to do what that kid did, right? You got to practice. You got to practice. Now me personally, in a enclosed situation, I might want to have my handgun instead because I can be concealed a lot better. And if I know what I'm doing, I can put, rounds on target. Under pressure, 30-yard shot's pretty fucking amazing. But this kid was able to put rounds on target. He didn't hit anybody else. He put the shooter down. Save I don't know how many lives. And the thing they want to focus on is that he broke the law by having, because they want to find some fucking argument against the kid when what he did, but he broke the law because he wasn't supposed to have a gun there because it said the paper on the fucking window when you walk in says no guns allowed. Okay. All right. The shooter he put down had one too. And he planned on killing a whole lot of people with it. Go to any mall and go look at the food court. The most people be in the food court. I'm just saying. But you want to demonize this kid. He saved so many lives. Next you're going to hear they're going to want to bring him up on fucking charges or something. They're going to bring him up on charges or something. I tell you, yo. I tell you. Shit is crazy. But a salute to this kid. I hope the people that he saved are singing his praises. I'm happy that the police are singing his praises. From the sounds of it, they're not going to go after him. That's what's up. They shouldn't. He acted quickly. Because all of us know when seconds count, police are minutes away. He was able to save a bunch of people. Unfortunately, he couldn't save the lives of the people that got hit. But, he's not Superman. But he did a fucking fine job, and I salute that kid. Anyway, let me see. So let's get to our final story. And that's Joe Nickel Slick from Breitbart News. Check this shit out. Biden rejects invite to visit domestic oil gas operations as he heads to Saudi Arabia seeking fossil fuels. Jeez. What's this?
President Biden, on behalf of the men and women fueling America's economic recovery, I invite you to visit America's vast energy fields and infrastructure. America's natural gas and oil benefits American families, the U.S. economy, and our national security. Instead of meeting with foreign governments to ask them to increase energy production, look to reliable U.S. energy sources here at home. With a tight global market, Washington can no longer ignore the immense potential of American energy. President Biden, join me and the men and women of America's energy industry. From the fields of New Mexico and plains of North Dakota to the mountains of Pennsylvania and bayous of Louisiana, together we can tackle today's energy challenge with energy solutions right here under our feet.
All right, so that's from the American Petroleum Institute. So let's see. The American Petroleum Institute said on a conference call with reporters Thursday that President Joe Biden rejected an invitation from oil and gas leaders to tour successful fossil fuel operations across the United States. Instead, Biden is headed to Saudi Arabia to seek more oil from OPEC. Now you tell me he ain't trying to get a payday. Now you tell me he ain't out here trying to get a payday from the Saudis. You're just gonna bypass your natural resources and all your crude oil here on American soil that we can use to tackle the gas prices and the natural gas prices and all that other shit that we can do on our own with our own resources and our own know-how. To go pander and get on your knees and ask for Saudi Arabia to help you. It says, just last month, API joined with 27 energy associations to urge President Biden and his cabinet to visit America's major oil and gas facilities, from production to distribution to refining to innovation hubs, as geopolitical volatility and energy costs continue to rise, Summer said. That shit is crazy. All right. Let's check this headline out from the Federalist. Biden begs Middle East nation he called a pariah to give us oil after he throttled U.S. energy. The trip represents an about face from the president, who campaigned in 2019 on making the Saudi state out to be the pariah that they are. President Joe Biden landed in the Middle East on Wednesday with high hopes for his first visit to the region as commander-in-chief. The agenda included revitalizing a nuclear deal with Iran, pursuing peace in Yemen, and desperately pleading to the Saudis for increased oil production. So not only is he over there ready to put a Saudi prince's dick in his mouth, he over there about to beg Iran, the Death to America crowd, for a new nuclear deal. That shit's fucking so ridiculous. It's fucking fantastic. This country's been mortgaged a long time ago, and Nickel Slick just trying to cash in now. Nickel Slick trying to cash in. All right. Remember, Saudi Arabia haven't been returning his phone calls. They wouldn't even pick up the phone for him. Iran been chanting death to America for how long? But he over there pandering and begging, making us look weak, making us look dependent. We don't look like the America of old. Shit, we don't look like the America of 2 years ago. Like I said before, people let the big tech and the mainstream media tell them that the guy who had America's interests at heart was the bad man, and the real racist, the real bad man, is the one that was going to come and save America. Not to mention, they're talking about they're on their whole Green New Deal kick. They're on their whole climate change kick, going green, reducing carbon footprint, and all this other shit, right? We need to do this. We need to do that in America. When America, we don't even contribute. Like we don't significantly contribute to carbon footprint. It's like China and them, right? But you want to shut down oil production here in America for some virtue signaling stance on climate change. Meanwhile, you ain't got no problem going to Russia, going to Saudi Arabia, going to Iran, Venezuela, asking them to do all the drilling and the fracking and the fucking pumping and all that other shit. I thought we were supposed to be trying to save the world, heal the world, stop carbon emissions and all this other shit. That's how you know they disingenuous. No, we just stop it here, but we'll still use everybody else's shit though. When America ain't even really the biggest contributor to fucking pollution. But he out here asking nations that don't really give a fuck about us or like us to help us. How out of touch are you? You throw fighting words at him and then go ask him for help like they supposed to. Don't get me started on that Iran shit, yo. Cause the last one was fucking retarded. I tell you. Kayak Dog says Saudis have a long memory. Just look at the reception Trump got versus Biden. That's facts. Handy Boss says 90% of the administration of Obama recycles. 90% of the administration is Obama's recycles. This is what we get when people with academic pedigrees are in charge instead of people with actual real world experience in their respective fields. That's facts. Saw says, man giving away oil reserves and he trying to beg Saudis for oil. Facts. Facts. This is the ultimate clown shit. DMW says Iran about to get paid off his nuclear capability and will get approximately $750 billion over 10 years. You can't be fucking serious. Bruh. I'm sure they do, yo. I'm sure they do. There's a lot of other countries that think the same shit. Saul says, speaking of Green New Deal, there was a post of a family's travel going across country and they stop every 100 miles to recharge. Yo, what up, anime? Shit is crazy, yo. But Joe Nichols slick out here mortgaging America further. Like he's trying to bankrupt America. Like he's actively trying. It looks like he's actively trying to bankrupt America. Like that shit is crazy to me. But nobody see it. You got some people waking up to it, but then you got a lot of these useful idiots out here that's being willfully ignorant watching this shit. Meanwhile, they can't themselves fucking justify this or make this shit make sense in their own head. They just pretend to just to save face. Because deep down they know they fucked up by voting for him. You won't meet with the domestic oil producers here in America. Only so you can go overseas and cut a deal where you get a few dollars. Because don't get it twisted. He's going to try to make a few dollars off of this. Manuel Presley said he not trying. Like I said, just understand, people, the world's on fire right now. A lot of the shit that's happening right now is going to get worse. All I can tell you is save yourselves. Emmanuel said Hunter Biden going to be the next Instagram millionaire. Who knows? Probably. But like I said, guys, shit going to get worse. Save yourselves, protect yourselves, protect your chick, and get you some protection, man. Make sure you're prepared for when this real collapse happens. Make sure you're prepared for when these gas prices fucking skyrocket after he done ran through our fucking reserves, giving it to other countries. Just be prepared. You're right, Bob. Never confuse education with intelligence. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for y'all tonight. If you're new, hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification icon. It'll let you know when I got new content coming out. Please share the stream. Let people know that we are live, that we were live. If you're catching this replay, leave a comment. Let me know. Has Joe Biden mortgaged this nation out? Has Joe Biden failed this nation? Is Joe Biden making us look weak on this world stage? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, this is Canon Hotep saying stay safe, stay well, stay strapped, protect your chicken. Holla at y'all.